The mystery of the Indus Script centers around the undeciphered writing system of the Indus Valley Civilization, one of the earliest known urban societies that flourished around 3300 to 1300 BCE in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. The civilization developed complex cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, leaving behind artifacts along with scripts that have puzzled scholars for decades. The inscriptions found on seals, pottery, and other objects typically consist of short sequences of symbols, often combined with animal motifs, leading to speculation about their meaning. Despite numerous attempts, the Indus script remains untranslated, largely due to several challenges. First, the inscriptions are typically brief, providing little context for analysis. Additionally, the script lacks a clear bilingual text that could aid in its decipherment. There is also uncertainty about whether the script is purely logographic, where symbols represent words or ideas, syllabic, or even an early form of alphabetic writing. Some scholars have suggested it may not represent a language at all, but rather a set of symbols with no linguistic content. Over the years, various theories have emerged, with some researchers, such as Aravatham Mahadevan, even suggesting links to Dravidian languages, while others propose connections. In contrast, some argue that the symbols were merely administrative marks or religious symbols with linguistic meaning. The lack of consensus has only deepened the mystery, with experts debating whether the script encoded a spoken language or served another purpose entirely. Solving the mystery of the Indus script could unlock significant insights into the culture, administration, and religion of the Indus Valley Civilization, offering a glimpse into one of history's most mysterious ancient societies. Until more discoveries are made, however, the Indus script remains one of archaeology's most interesting puzzles. The Late Bronze Age collapse, occurring around 1200 BCE, marks the sudden downfall of advanced civilizations in the Eastern Mediterranean and Near East. Over a span of roughly 50 years, powerful kingdoms like the Hittites in Anatolia, Mycenae in Greece, and the New Kingdom of Egypt faced a drastic decline. Once thriving centers of trade, diplomacy, and culture, these civilizations saw their cities burned, their palaces destroyed, and their economies crumble. The causes of this collapse are hotly debated, but we do know a range of interconnected factors is thought to have contributed to the chaos. Some theories highlight natural disasters, such as severe droughts and earthquakes, which could have disrupted agriculture and forced mass migrations. Evidence of climate change during this period suggests a shift that might have led to widespread famine and scarcity, destabilizing societies and igniting internal conflict. Other theories point to invasions by the mysterious Sea Peoples, a group of pillaging warriors who appeared in Egyptian records, attacking coastal cities throughout the region. Internal rebellions and civil conflicts may have also played a role, as some cities show signs of violent destruction from within. The collapse led to the loss of complex trade networks that had linked these civilizations for centuries, causing a dark age of economic and cultural regression. Writing systems like Linear B, used by the Mycenaeans, vanished, and large-scale construction came to a complete stop. This event profoundly reshaped the region, leading to a period of isolation for several centuries before new societies emerged. The Late Bronze Age collapse remains a complex, multifaceted mystery, and understanding what happened during this time could reveal much about the fragility of ancient societies in the face of crisis. The Voynich manuscript is a mysterious illustrated book dating back to the early 15th century, written in an unknown script and filled with detailed, bizarre drawings of plants, astronomical diagrams, and mysterious figures. Named after the Polish-American bookseller Wilfrid Voynich, who purchased it in 1912, the manuscript has puzzled scholars, cryptographers, and linguists ever since. The book, which is about 240 pages long, appeared to be organized into sections, including herbal, astronomical, biological, and pharmaceutical themes. Yet its exact purpose and content remain a mystery. What makes the Voynich manuscript so mysterious is its text, written in an unidentified script that does not match any known language or writing system. The script structure suggests it might be a real language with grammar and syntax, but no one has ever been able to decipher it. Over the centuries, numerous experts, including prominent cryptographers, such as those at the NSA, have tried to crack its code, but without any success. Some speculate that the manuscript might be an elaborate hoax, though analysis of the ink dates it to the 15th century, making such a hoax unlikely. Others suggest it could be a medical or herbal guide, an alchemical text, or even a mystical work. There are also theories that it was written in a lost or invented language, or that it might encode a cipher for protecting secret knowledge. Despite advances in computer analysis and cryptography, the Voynich manuscript remains undeciphered, with its purpose, authorship, and meaning still unknown. Many believe that unlocking the manuscript's secrets could reveal a lost treasure of medieval knowledge, while others think it will only deepen the mystery. Now, before we continue, I would like to take a minute to talk about the incredible company that is Manta Sleep, who are the sponsors of this video. Are you ready to experience sleep like never before? Manta Sleep offers a range of premium sleep masks designed to elevate your rest and recovery. Unlike traditional masks, Manta Sleep masks are crafted for optimal comfort and total darkness, which helps maximize your body's natural ability to rest and rejuvenate. Whether you need complete blackout coverage, cooling features, relaxing music through Bluetooth, or a weighted feel to calm your mind, Manta Sleep has a mask that fits every sleep style that you could ever ask for. Each mask is light, breathable, and adaptable, so you'll forget it's even there. This Black Friday through Cyber Monday, from November 29th to December 3rd, Manta Sleep is offering their biggest sale of the year. And if you want even more savings, use my exclusive code Jaydone at checkout for an additional 10% off your order. If you're serious about getting better quality sleep, head over to mantasleep.com and see the difference that one of their incredible masks can make. Now, back to the video. The Dancing Plague of 1518 is one of history's most bizarre and mysterious events, during which hundreds of people in Strasbourg, a city in modern-day France, were seized by an uncontrollable urge to dance. The plague began in July 1518 when a woman named Frau Trafia stepped into the street and started dancing without stopping for hours. Over the next few days, dozens and eventually hundreds of townspeople joined her, unable to control their movements, with some reportedly dancing to the point of exhaustion, injury, or even death. The cause of this strange phenomenon remains unknown, though various theories have been proposed. At the time, authorities believed that the dancing plague was a curse or divine punishment, and even encouraged more dancing by setting up musicians and professional dancers, hoping that participants would dance out the sickness. Unfortunately, this approach only seemed to worsen the situation. Modern researchers have explored several possible explanations, with one theory suggesting that the afflicted people might have consumed ergot, a hallucinogenic fungus that grows on rye and can induce spasms and hallucinations. However, the coordinated, rhythmic nature of the dancing challenges this idea. Another hypothesis is that the event was a case of mass psychogenic illness, or mass hysteria, triggered by extreme stress and hardship. Strasbourg had recently experienced famine, disease, and poverty, which could have led to collective psychological distress that manifested in this strange way. The Dancing Plague of 1518 remains a mystery, and it serves as a reminder of the powerful effects of psychological and social forces on human behavior, and highlights how historical events, when unexplained, can lead to an almost supernatural allure. The Black Dahlia murder is one of America's most infamous unsolved cases, involving the brutal death of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short in Los Angeles, occurring in January 1947. Elizabeth, an inspiring actress, was found dead and mutilated in a vacant lot in the Leimert Park neighborhood. Her body was severed at the waist, and her face had been slashed, leading to intense media coverage and speculation. Due to her appearance and preference for dark clothing, the press named her the Dark Dahlia, a name inspired by a popular film at the time called The Blue Dahlia. The horrific nature of the crime and Short's young age captured public attention, leading to one of the largest investigations in LAPD history. Over 150 subjects were questioned, and countless theories emerged, yet no one has ever been charged with killing her. The case drew media frenzy, with newspapers publishing vivid details and receiving letters from individuals claiming to be the killer, though these were likely hoaxes. Numerous theories about who killed Elizabeth Short have surfaced over the decades, implicating everyone from doctors to ex-lovers and even Hollywood insiders. One of the most popular suspects is Dr. George Hodel, a physician accused of being the Dark Dahlia's killer by his own son, Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective who uncovered circumstantial evidence linking his father to the crime. However, no conclusive proof has ever surfaced. This mystery remains unsolved, and it is often referenced in books, movies, and television. Elizabeth Short's tragic death symbolizes the dark side of Hollywood's dream, and the brutal lengths some would go to for fame or infamy. Today, the case is still open, though the passage of time has made it unlikely that her killer will ever be definitively identified. The D.B. Cooper hijacking is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American aviation and crime history. On November 24th, 1971, a man using the alias Dan Cooper, which was later mistakenly reported as D.B. Cooper, boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. Shortly after takeoff, he handed a note to a flight attendant revealing he had a bomb and was hijacking the plane. Cooper demanded $200,000 in cash or parachutes in a fuel truck standing by in Seattle for the plane's refueling. The airline met his demands, and upon landing in Seattle, Cooper released the passengers in exchange for the money and parachutes, but retained several crew members. After refueling, he ordered the plane to take off again, directing the crew to fly towards Mexico City at a low altitude and also slow speed. Sometime during the flight, over the dense forest of the Pacific Northwest, Cooper opened the plane's rear stairs and parachuted into the night with the money. Despite an extensive manhunt, he was never seen or heard from again, and the FBI launched one of the longest-running investigations in its history, interviewing hundreds of suspects and analyzing clues, including a portion of the ransom money discovered on the banks of the Columbia River in 1980. However, no definitive evidence or remains have ever been found, leaving Cooper's identity and fate unknown. Over the years, many people, including experts, have speculated about who Cooper was, with theories ranging from an experienced paratrooper to a desperate man seeking financial freedom. The D.B. Cooper case remains the only unsolved airline hijacking in U.S. history, becoming a cultural legend and inspiring books, films, and television shows. The WOW signal is one of the most intriguing mysteries in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. On August 15, 1977, while scanning the sky for radio signals from alien civilizations, Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope detected an unusual signal from the constellation Sagittarius. The 72-second signal was exceptionally strong and narrow band, which is characteristic of an artificial rather than natural origin. The signal's intensity and unique frequency, near the hydrogen line, at 1420 MHz, which some scientists believe an alien civilization might use to communicate, made it an extraordinary find. The signal was discovered by astronomer Jerry R. Inman, who circled the sequence of characters 6EQUJ5 on the computer printout and wrote "wow" with an exclamation point in the margin, giving the signal its famous name. Unlike typical background noise or earthly interference, the WOW signal had qualities consistent with a deliberate transmission. However, despite numerous follow-up attempts, scientists have never been able to detect the signal again, leading to widespread speculation and mystery. Various theories have been proposed to explain the WOW signal, ranging from a signal produced by a comet or other natural sources to radio frequency interference from Earth. However, no definitive natural or terrestrial explanation has ever been found, leaving open the possibility that it was a transmission from an extraterrestrial intelligence. The WOW signal has sparked debates and inspired efforts to continue scanning the sky for signs of alien life. While skeptics argue that it could have been a natural origin, its one-time appearance and unusual characteristics keep it as one of the strongest candidates for a signal from another civilization. The Yuba County 5 case, also known as the American Dyatlov Pass, is a perplexing mystery involving the strange disappearance and deaths of 5 young men from Yuba City, California in 1978. The men, Jack Madriga, Ted Wire, Gary Mathias, Bill Sterling, and Jack Hoot, were friends with mild intellectual disabilities or mental health issues who shared a passion for sports. On the night of February 24th, 1978, they attended a college basketball game in Chico, California. However, instead of returning home, they drove about 70 miles in the opposite direction, deep into a remote snowy mountain area in Plumas National Forest. Their car was later found abandoned on a dirt road, undamaged, but strangely stuck in snow, with no apparent attempt to free it, despite being in working order and having enough gas to keep going. This was the last clue for months until, in June, the remains of some of the men were discovered, miles from the car in harsh, mountainous terrain. Wire's body was found in a Forest Service trailer, starved and wrapped in blankets, suggesting he survived there for some time. Sterling, Madriga, and Hoot's remains were found scattered in the nearby woods. Mathias's body was never located, adding on to the mystery. The circumstances of their deaths baffled authorities, as the group had food in the trailer and lots of resources to ensure their survival. But Wire eventually succumbed to starvation anyways. Why they ventured into the wilderness in the first place, why they abandoned the car, and what ultimately happened to Mathias remain unanswered questions. Theories range from disorientation or foul play to a psychotic episode triggered by Mathias, who was schizophrenic and off his medication. This chilling incident continues to intrigue investigators, remaining an unsolved and haunting mystery. The Vela Incident, also known as the South Atlantic Flash, is a mystery involving an unexplained double flash of light detected on September 22, 1979 by an American Vela satellite. Designed to monitor compliance with the 1963 Partial Test Ban Treaty, the satellite was equipped to detect nuclear explosions, and the double flash it recorded in the South Atlantic Ocean resembled the signature of a nuclear detonation. The exact source of the flash remains uncertain, though many experts suggest it was a covert nuclear test. South Africa and Israel have long been speculated as the nations involved, possibly conducting a joint test. At the time, both countries were under scrutiny for suspected nuclear ambitions, and the remote location of the flash, near the Prince Edward Islands, would have provided a low-profile testing site. The US government initially responded by assembling a panel led by physicist Jack Ruina, which concluded the flash might have been a sensor malfunction or an atmospheric anomaly. However, some officials and experts disputed this explanation, pointing out that the Vela satellite had reliably detected nuclear tests before, and that its equipment was well tested. Additionally, certain atmospheric and seismic data seemed to support the nuclear test theory, as did trace levels of radioactive iodine detected in Australian sheep shortly after the incident. Despite the evidence, no country has ever confirmed responsibility for a nuclear test, and the US government has not officially revised its conclusion of a possible malfunction. Over the years, declassified documents and expert analyses have continued to fuel debates over whether the Vela incident was indeed a secret nuclear test or a unique natural event. To this day, the event remains a controversial and unresolved mystery in nuclear history, with the true cause of the South Atlantic flash still unknown. The Max Headroom signal hijacking is one of the most notorious cases of television piracy in US history. It occurred on November 22, 1987, in Chicago, Illinois, when an unidentified individual wearing a headroom mask interrupted two television broadcasts. The first incident took place during a sports segment on WNG-TV, but the transmission only lasted around 30 seconds before the station regained control. Later that evening, the hijackers struck again, this time interrupting an episode of Doctor Who on WTTW, a PBS affiliate. This second hijack lasted about 90 seconds and was bizarre, featuring distorted audio, nonsensical statements, and strange antics by the masked figure. The broadcast interruption involved a person dressed as Max Headroom, a popular satirical computer-generated TV character of the 1980s known for his glitchy, robotic movements and distinctive look. The hijacker waved a rubber glove, mocked WGN and its sportscaster, Chuck Swirsky, and referenced obscure pop culture, all while standing in front of a piece of metal, imitating the background of the original Max Headroom show. The hijacking ended with the individual exposing his bare backside, and then the broadcast abruptly cut off. Despite investigations by the FCC and FBI, the identity of the hijacker remains unknown. Television signal hijackings of this kind are technically difficult to pull off, as they require significant equipment and expertise. Some people have speculated that it may have been an inside job by someone with knowledge of broadcasting systems, but no suspects were ever confirmed. The Max Headroom incident remains a mystery, capturing public fascination as a surreal prank against mainstream media. Decades later, it's celebrated as a piece of internet and hacking culture, remembered for its strange and eerie imagery. The disappearance of Shelly Miscavige, wife of Scientology leader David Miscavige, is one of the most high-profile and controversial mysteries linked to the Church of Scientology. Shelly, born Michelle Diane Barnett, has not been seen publicly since August 2007. Before her disappearance, she was a prominent figure within the church and known as a close aide to her husband. She reportedly vanished from the public life after making some changes in David's absence, actions that allegedly displeased him. Concern over her whereabouts became public when actress Leah Remini, a former Scientologist, raised questions about Shelly's absence during the 2013 wedding of actor Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, where Shelly, a high-ranking church figure, was unexpectedly absent. Rimini's concerns and inquiries reportedly led her to file a missing person report with the Los Angeles Police Department in 2013. The LAPD claims they closed the case, stating they had seen Shelly and confirmed her safety, but did not provide any details on her location or condition. Despite the LAPD's response, speculation of Shelly's whereabouts continues on. Some former Scientology members, and also critics, allege she may be living under strict supervision in a secretive church facility in California. They point to the church's history of controlling behavior towards members, especially high-ranking individuals who may possess sensitive information. The Church of Scientology has consistently denied these claims, insisting that Shelly is simply a private person and chooses to remain out of the public eye. Nonetheless, the lack of direct public appearances by Shelly Miscavige fuels ongoing speculation and concern. Her absence raises questions about the inner workings of Scientology and remains a focal point for critics of the organization. Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin, and he remains one of the tech world's most captivating mysteries. In 2008, Nakamoto published a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, which outlined a revolutionary method for online transactions that did not require a central authority. Bitcoin launched in January 2009, with Nakamoto mining the first ever block, known as the Genesis block, effectively initiating the blockchain. Nakamoto continued to communicate with other early developers and enthusiasts through forums and emails, helping guide the Bitcoin network's developments. However, in 2011, Nakamoto abruptly ended all communication, stating that they had moved on to other things. Since then, no verified contact has ever been made, and Nakamoto's true identity remains unknown. Their disappearance sparked global curiosity and speculation, with many theorizing that Nakamoto could be an individual or even a collective of developers with advanced cryptographic knowledge. Over the years, several individuals have been suggested as Nakamoto, including computer scientist Nick Szabo, developer Hal Finney, and Australian entrepreneur Craig Wright, but none of these claims have been proven. Nakamoto is believed to hold over 1 million bitcoins, which have remained untouched and are currently worth billions, further fueling speculation about who they might be and why they left the project. The mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto has cultural and financial implications, as Nakamoto's creation has inspired thousands of cryptocurrencies and influenced movements for financial decentralization, yet they continue to stay anonymous and have not been heard of in over a decade, adding to Bitcoin's legendary status. Cicada 3301 is a mysterious and sophisticated online puzzle that first appeared in January 2012, when an anonymous organization posted a strange image on 4chan, inviting users to solve a series of cryptographic puzzles. The group behind it, known only as 3301, claimed to seek highly intelligent individuals, and stated that only those who could complete the puzzles would find out who they were and what they wanted. This initial post sparked intense interest among codebreakers, cryptography enthusiasts, and conspiracy theorists worldwide. The puzzles in Cicada 3301 were extremely complex and involved diverse knowledge areas, including cryptography, steganography, philosophy, literature, and even ancient history. The multi-layered clues led participants across various platforms, from online message boards to real-life locations in cities like Seattle, Paris, and Warsaw. The process required people to crack complex codes, analyze encrypted messages, and even decode references to obscure literary works and number sequences. Cicada 3301 reappeared with new puzzles in 2013 and 2014, but then the postings mysteriously stopped, leaving many to wonder about the organization's motives and purpose. Some speculated it was a recruitment tool for intelligence agencies, like the CIA or MI6, while others believed it was connected to dark web activists or hackers with an interest in privacy and digital freedom. Despite theories, no clear proof has ever linked Cicada 3301 to any established organization, and the true purpose of the puzzles remains a mystery. Though no official information about successful participants or the group's motives has been released, Cicada 3301 has become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring countless discussions, documentaries, and amateur attempts to solve its remaining riddles. The mystery continues on, with Cicada 3301 seen as one of the most sophisticated and perplexing puzzles of the internet age. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is one of the greatest aviation mysteries of modern times. On March 8, 2014, the Boeing 777, carrying 239 passengers and crew, departed from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, bound for Beijing, China. About an hour into the flight, communications with the aircraft suddenly ceased, and Flight 370 deviated sharply off its planned route. Despite extensive searches, the plane vanished, leaving no immediate trace, and sparking one of the most expensive and prolonged search efforts in aviation history. The search initially focused on the South China Sea, but later satellite data indicated that Flight 370 made a series of course changes and likely flew for several hours in a southwestern direction over the Indian Ocean. This discovery shifted the search area to a remote part of the ocean, west of Australia. Despite years of underwater searches, no major wreckage was found in the initial search zone, deepening the mystery. In 2015, pieces of debris from Flight 370 began washing ashore on islands in the Indian Ocean and along the east coast of Africa, confirming the plane's crash. However, the debris left few clues as to what happened on board, and no cockpit voice recorders or flight data recorders were recovered to reveal the final moments. Theories about the disappearance range from mechanical failure or fire to more sinister explanations, such as a hijacking or deliberate pilot action. One of the captains came under particular scrutiny, though no definitive evidence supports foul play by him or anyone else on board. The official investigation closed in 2018 without a conclusive answer, leaving the fate of Flight 370 unknown. Human consciousness is one of the most profound mysteries in science and philosophy. Consciousness encompasses our ability to experience thoughts, emotions, and sensations, to be aware of ourselves and the world around us. Despite centuries of inquiry, scientists and philosophers have yet to fully understand how consciousness arises from the brain or why subjective experience exists at all. The main challenge is the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers, and this problem highlights the gap between the brain's physical processes, such as neurons firing and chemicals interacting, and our internal subjective experience. In other words, while we can describe how the brain processes information, it remains unclear why or how these processes create consciousness awareness rather than occurring without it. Theories about consciousness vary widely, and some researchers propose that consciousness emerges from complex neural networks and patterns in the brain. From this view, consciousness could be seen as an advanced product of evolution, enabling higher cognitive functions and self-awareness that offer survival advantages. Others, however, suggest that current models of physics and biology are inadequate to explain consciousness and that new frameworks might be needed. Alternative theories, such as panpsychism, propose that consciousness might be a fundamental aspect of all matter, not just the human brain, suggesting that even atoms possess a rudimentary form of consciousness. Integrated information theory, another hypothesis, suggests that consciousness is linked to the complexity of information processing within a system. Despite advancements in neuroscience and cognitive science, the nature and origin of consciousness remains unsolved. It raises deep questions about human identity and free will. Although most of the things I mentioned in this video could potentially be solved someday, this one might not ever be, as it remains humanity's greatest unsolved mystery. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you learned something, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on anything I discussed in this video, and subscribe if you would like to see more like this one. Thank you again, and goodbye.